And one congressman is introducing legislation to defuse the crisis by supporting states' rights. Joining me now, Georgia Congressman and member of the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, Mike Collins. Congressman, thank you for being with me. I appreciate it. And we're going to get to your piece of legislation in just a moment. But first, you just heard Governor Abbott's comments from earlier this week. He says Texas has the constitutional authority to protect Texans. The Supreme Court at the moment is ruling that the federal government can't be prevented from exercising its control of the border. But as Abbott tweeted out this photo, Texas is standing pat, digging in their heels, and they are adding more razor wire fences to deter illegal immigrants. Your response to the court's ruling and the legal battle ahead?
Well, I appreciate you having me on, Tom. First of all, that court ruling just is more evidence. They got it wrong, unfortunately, but it's an administration that is bent on America Last agenda. As a matter of fact, pushing this country more and more towards socialism to the point where they need to bring in as many people as they can. You think about it, 8 million people have poured across that border since the Biden administration came into effect. That is more than in the state of Georgia, population-wise. Texas had every right to do that. As a matter of fact, Congress has every right, because we have power of the purse, to defund any effort that the federal government takes up to try to remove that razor wire, and that's exactly what the Razor Act does.
Congressman, it has been suggested by one of your colleagues, Texas Congressman Joaquin Castro, that President Biden should take control of the Texas National Guard to prevent Governor Abbott from using them to help control the border. If he does that, how much worse does this constitutional crisis get?
Yeah, I think it's evident just how much worse it would be. That's not constitutional, first of all. Second of all, Castro is wrong. Biden has the ability to end this right now by remaining in Mexico, by quit giving out all the goodies that they give across when these people come across the border, by making sure that people understand that the border is closed. The only point of entry is the point of entry to come across that border. But he's not willing to do that. They don't want to do that. That's not their agenda. And, it is becoming more and more evident to the point where I would say, and we have been saying probably for the past 4 to 6 weeks, the border issue, that invasion on our southern border, is the most important issue in this country right now.
Congressman, let's talk about the Razor Act that you have introduced. Tell us more about the piece of legislation, what it would do that's not currently being done in Washington.
Well, it's a simple act. In Congress, we have a very short job description. Take care of your constituency and have appropriations over all of the federal government, oversight. And we do that as appropriating funds, something that we haven't done in a decade. We just keep handing out bundles of cash to these agencies and we don't hold them accountable. That's one reason that they're out of control with this overreach. But by golly, we got a chance right now, and this is a great bill, and it simply states that we are going to defund. You don't have the ability to impose the rule of taking and cutting that razor wire or any barrier on any border state, so that these states can protect themselves and the citizens of not just their state, but this country.
Now, Congress, in the other chamber, across the hall from you in the Senate, they're negotiating a new border bill right now. Yeah. House Speaker Mike Johnson has fired a warning shot, saying that House Republicans would, quote, vigorously oppose any new policy from the White House and the Senate. He says it's dead on arrival. A few people seem to know what's in this bill, Congressman. So do you happen to know what's in it? And at the end of the day, I think you pointed out, it's not really just about the money, it's about the policy itself. But what do you know about what the Senate is negotiating?
Yeah, Tom, we don't know. No one has any idea. We did get some information from our speaker, and he said that he was adamantly opposed to it, which I am glad that he is stepping up and saying that it will be dead on arrival. I tell you what, we passed out of the House H.R. 2, great piece of legislation. It has been sitting over there getting covered with dust. I would suggest that they brush it off, clean it off, take a hard look at it, send it back to us, pass it over there, and let's get that onto the president's desk. and make sure that we get our border secured down there.
Congressman, before we go, breaking news on Friday, Georgia State Representative Charlize Byrd has introduced articles of impeachment against Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, claiming she used her office not to pursue justice, but for political and personal gain. Your reaction, Congressman?
Well, it's in due process. It's time. You know, it's obvious that Fani Willis has had been paying more attention to her special prosecutor, who had no, he never has prosecuted anything on this level, and it was all just so that they could, I guess, go out on dates, for lack of better words. But it's all been exposed. All of these cases are bogus. But the wheels are especially coming off the bus down here in Georgia. This thing should get kicked out. As a matter of fact, she should be indicted, and he should be too. So let them go on the criminal record, and let's see how they stand in the criminal process.
The wheels are coming off the bus down there in Georgia. Georgia Congressman Mike Collins, thank you so much for being with me today.
Appreciate your time.